Peace, love, and coconut balls. You know how we do have Millions in Empire. Come to give you another installment, really, about social distancing. But wanted to catch Denry in the background there. You see all that sarcasm on the ocean there. But this is Denry right there, family. See the playing field and everything. I'm about to hit the border, but we have another installment for you. But just a fast, quick meditation on one of the protocols since the onset of this COVID 2019, this coronavirus, right? So basically, one of the protocols we have to adhere to is what they refer to as social distancing. In it, an individual or any individual is supposed to remain roughly about 6 feet away from another individual. Okay? In so doing, you can mitigate the transmission of the virus. That basically means you can curb or stop the spread of the virus if someone was to cough or sneeze next to you. But I'm sure many people can see, not only in St. Lucia, around the world, black people just have a problem keeping in that protocol. Really, it's not their fault, because a lot of people will call us arrogant and ignorant and we don't know what 6 foot is. I mean, anybody's supposed to know what 6 foot is. The typical human being is between 5 and 6 feet. So if you just imagine a human being laid down on the ground or on the floor in front of you, right, between you and the next individual, that is approximately 6 feet. But the thing is, we as black people, right, we have this innate energy, right, this energy in motion inside of us that draws us together. Okay? And that's just the way it is with black people. Okay, so a lot of people will be like, oh, them people are really ignorant. Me say really new, me say pack on it 6 feet, man. You understand? But it's not about that, really. But something I wanted to touch upon with this social distancing, we're going to have a look at the pros and the cons of it. Really and truly, it's just one pro. It's just really to curb the transmission of this genetically modified virus. Okay? But the con would be, family, the con, I'm sure a lot of people haven't actually noticed that, right? Even before I go into the con of it, social distancing, before the onset of this virus, we as black people were already subconsciously practicing that. Let's have a look at the religious organizations, for example. If I belong to Seventh-day Adventists and I see a Catholic right there and we want to gather to do something, they wouldn't even really gather or even really hold conversation with these people, just on the fact that they think that Saturday is the correct Sabbath and the Catholics feel that Sunday is the correct Sabbath. So that alone brings about a social distancing between us as a people. The next level of social distancing is when we leave young adult, teenager, and then we go into full-blown adulthood. So in that regard, we're basically going to start working 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever, okay? And individuals that we went to school with, that we grew up together, that we had a bond with, somehow we see that bond actually separating, because obviously everyone has to work to pay their bills and to put food on the table. So that in itself brings about a form of social distancing, and then friends you've had for so long, you just see or just start to get distance all of a sudden. But this video obviously is not really about that. Just had to touch on these two aspects before I go on to the nitty-gritty of it. So I'm sure the family will know and will admit there is a lot of information circling as to the cause of this coronavirus, right? But while we're not taking away the pro of the protocol, being the social distancing, I mean, we're not dumb. We know that if someone coughs or sneezes, that you have to move from the person. You understand? For that, the droplets or whatever it is to have time settle down before it gets to you, But they're giving us so much dumb information about this, family. I'm near the road, so you will hear vehicles passing. They're giving us so dumb information about this, you left up until your own opinions. But with social distancing, they're preventing mass gatherings, okay? And with all this information, people would have by now, if that protocol wasn't in place, would have gathered together, okay, reason about the different information that they have received and come about to a conclusion. Probably that conclusion would have led to us protesting against the government, family. You see what I'm saying? Take for example, For those of you who reside in St. Lucia, you will know that St. Lucia ran through 2 phases of curfews before we had the 24-hour lockdown, right? So the last phase of the curfew, we were basically on a curfew from 8 p.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, and the government came to give a speech on a Monday at 8 o'clock, and he's saying, you know what? Because some people, and we do have a few stubborn St. Lucians here, because some people didn't adhere to the protocol of the curfew, from tomorrow, which is the Tuesday, he's going to do a 24-hour lockdown. Now, a lot of people were irate about this, family, because you cannot tell me we're already on a curfew 8 to 5, and then you announcing at 8 o'clock that the following day for 7 days is going to be a 24-hour lockdown. Nobody has any time to prepare. So, I mean, a lot of people were irate about this, and if it wasn't for the social distancing or this lockdown, family, this sort of martial law lockdown, people would have gathered together and rise up against the government. I don't care if it was the opposition party, be that the Labour government, okay, or any group of people, any organization. It could even be a set of us at Limited Empire really standing up for that injustice. So that, to a level, is one of the cons of social distancing. You see what I'm saying, family? So social distancing disables people from coming together, truth from being circulated. Because, I mean, if you do not have a close brethren or a group that you're part of, and even that would really have to be on the phone. You see what I'm saying? So by preventing us from coming together, family, they're even stopping protests. You understand? So that is another level, and I'm sure many people didn't actually think of that, of the effects of social distancing, right? So just wanted to share that with the family. And to seal it up real quick, the heavyweight champion of social distancing is none other but the famous Jesus Christ himself. Yeah, he's a social distancing champion, and I was hoping during the time of this pandemic that a lot of the religious adherents, the religious zealots, would see that, yo, if any time that our Savior had to really bust through the clouds, as they say, bust through the clouds and come and show his face with the 10,000 of his sins, would be now. Because the world needs you now, and where are you? I mean, we at ME, we know that you're fake, you understand? But this is basically for the religious adherents, you understand? The religious folk. And I just had to touch upon quickly, while I did say religiously that we have 7 days Sabbath keepers and Christian folk, the Sunday keepers of the Sabbath, not really coinciding, having a form of social distancing. It even happens within the Rastafari community as well, okay? Because a Bobo Shanti will see a Naya Bingi there across the road, and sometimes, yeah, my bro, and sometimes they don't even check him because he feeling that he higher than the man, because, you know, probably Emmanuel is the Black Christ and he didn't acknowledge it, or probably because his hair is wrapped and his shirt is tucked in his pants, and the Bingi man watching like, I'm a real crazy here, bye, yes, sir. So don't feel, you know, that the Rastafari community is actually safe from this. You're actually victim to all of this as well. You understand? So we need to break away from that and bring about that together, and that unity, which is an innate energy that resonates within us black people. Now let's get back on to Jesus. Don't you think by now would have been an excellent time for you to show yourself, Jesus? Huh? To show yourself? But we know that you're not real. We know that you're not going to burst from the clouds. But I really thought this time would have made the religious adherents actually open their eye and be like, you know what, we really need to question this man's existence, and we need to come together with our brothers and sisters, okay, that has been shedding the light and sharing this information with the people for us to really come together and make the change that we're waiting for Jesus to do. Take responsibility, because there's a difference between blame and responsibility. Yes, a lot of things that happen to us, there are other people and even somewhat ourselves to some degree to blame, but the responsibility should be solely ours, family, to make that change that we want to see, right? Worldwide champion of social distancing is Jesus Christ, right there, okay? And don't let this cracker come and put us in a coma anymore, family. We've been in that coma for way too long, and it's the awakening. It's time for us to get up. Even this whole coronavirus pandemic is because the elites, that few 1% of the world who want to be in charge of the world, saw that the entire planet was going through an awakening, and they had to distract. They had to put some type of distraction, right? Somehow, you understand? Along with putting that in place really to execute certain parts of the protocol that we're going to touch upon obviously in another video. But as you can see, I'm at work really, and I just came from the city obviously to enter everywhere in the city, not just in America or in China, everywhere in the world. Even in Little St. Lucia, you have to have your face mask, family, right? You have to have your face mask for you to enter the bank, enter anywhere. Okay, and to implement this social distancing even further within a small country like St. Lucia, they put border control at Dennery, and the people should know that Dennery is midpoint between Vieux Fort and Castries. So if you do not have some sort of identification, some sort of pass or letter from some organization or institution, you cannot pass that border. And I think I'm going to put a clip in of the border right now. Okay, peace, love and bliss to the family. So we're coming up, well, for the family that should know or that resides in St. Lucia, you'll know that the country has been basically split in half, right? Due to this protocol, this social distancing. So everyone who is in the northern region, what they call 758, has to stay there. And anyone in the southern region, which they refer to as 759, has to stay there. And what divides us, what even prevents us from crossing over, are borders. So they have implemented borders, family. So I'm just going to get a quick video of this. Hopefully, you know, we can get away with the shit. This is what it's about, family. See how we get there in Lucia right now? Borders, man. Okay, so it's just a build, family. I hope the family get and understand what I'm saying, and let us develop and build this knowledge, so when all this curfew and things do settle out and we do get to gather together as a people, we can put certain plans and elements in place that can help us thrive, okay, and take care of our future generations for another 4 or 5 decades coming. And having said that, family, peace, love, and coconut water. We're on the move again. So just past Dennery, Mandela Point. Okay. So the police van just go past there. That's what it is, family. That's what it is. Stay woke.